Hey everybody, it's Sammy here. I just wanted to come in here and say sorry that I haven't been doing a video in a while. I've been pretty busy with all things going on in my life, being with my girlfriend, working, exercising, and of course, having to sit down and watch movies on Laserdisc. But here we go with my video of my movie reviews from February and from March. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I got 6 movies here I'm gonna review from February, and the next 6 movies I'm gonna review are going to be from March as well, so there's going to be plenty of good ones for you all to hear and for you all to see. So we're starting off with my top 6 movies I've watched in February on Laserdisc, and the first one we got right here is an awesome, dope, fucking badass flick right here. I think a lot of people should definitely have to see this one here. Judge and Jury. Now, take a look at this cover here. Isn't this cover so fucking cool? It really is. I'll show you the back. I picked this one up from Germany. Brand new factory sealed for $18 plus international shipping, which $18 for this one's a pretty good deal for this one here. For it being sealed. So I know Ty White reviewed this in a couple of his videos from the Physical Media Mac. So pay attention to what I'm gonna tell you about this movie. So basically, this movie, it's about David Keefe, who plays as Joseph Meeker. He's riding a motorcycle with his girlfriend here, having the time of their life and just enjoy each other, and then they go in and rob a liquor store or something like that, and he tries to get something out of there, but they won't let him, so they kill one of the persons there, and they kill his girlfriend there, and then David Keefe starts to kill everybody at the liquor store, and then he's in jail and seeking the death penalty of what could be the life sentencing for him, and they put him in some kind of chair for them to execute him. So basically he gets executed, and then he comes back to life, as Martin Cove, who is a B-movie action star, is in this film here. He's like some kind of coach, some kind of like fan there, or coach. It's been like a couple months since I've seen this film, but he coaches for this team here, or watched his son play for some kind of team and all stuff, and his girlfriend doesn't like what's going on, and starts to have problems and all this stuff, and then David Keefe comes back to life, and as Joseph Meeker. Then all of a sudden, things really crazy start to happen in the movie when Martin Cove is having all these dreams of what happened in the past, and with how all this is going on, and he sees like Joseph Meeker in a window, and he doesn't know who he's seeing and all that stuff, and then he goes outside having all these nightmares, and David Keefe goes out and seeks revenge for Martin Cove's character. Get these, I think he has these 2 doppelfinchers there that go after Martin Cove as well. And there's a lot of crazy stuff that David Keefe is going on in this film. My favorite part about David Keith in this film is he's like some kind of like sous chef where he does silly things in the kitchen and fights with Martikov and and does all these crazy things in the kitchen. That's like my favorite scene from David Keith in this film, with all that. But yeah, this is a very awesome fucking movie right here that I highly recommend everybody seeing. This Laserdisc is kind of very rare, so, I hope you get yourself a copy of it one day soon. Alright guys, the next movie I'm going to review right here after Judge and Jury is this one here. Maximum Security with Paul Michael Robinson. I believe Ty White picked this one up first from Naka_YKTV before I did. Although I did watch this first before he did. But this movie is another awesome film. It's basically about this. What's Paul Michael Robinson's character's name? I don't remember, but Mace Richter. Okay, Mace Richter. He plays some kind of like some kind of some tenant or policeman, and there's something bad happening in the plane that he's going on, and this bad guy. I don't remember what the name of the bad guy is, but he has some kind of like gray hair and all stuff. He kidnaps the hostages on the plane, and then he goes on the plane, saves the hostages, and kills the bad guys in the plane. And then he gets framed, after what he done. So he was sent to this prison building. Where it's like a maximum security prison building here that he was sent to, and the guy with the gray hair, I think his name was Richard Goodbye, or I don't know, or John Lazar. It's been a while since I've seen this film, maybe like a few months, but they go into this prison building there and kills all the employees there in the prison building where Paul Michael Robinson was locked, and Paul Michael Robinson and his inmates get out of prison. They start to wander around, find those bad guys to get after them and all stuff, and Paul Michael Robinson and Mace Richter meets this beautiful chick who's like a news reporter and all stuff, and she's I think she's really beautiful. I think her name is Monique Parent, but yeah, she was gorgeous in this film. And Mace goes after the bad guys in this film and kicks ass and does his job to help protect the prison building and everybody that was there and all stuff. It's an awesome film, and I highly recommend everybody seeing it. I'll show you the back. So yeah, what an amazing film, what an awesome film this is. Totally highly recommend that one as well. Alright, the next one we got right here. Is one of my absolute favorite erotic thrillers I've seen. Virtual Seduction with Jeff Fahey. Reality's not an option. Let me read the back. Actually, let me just show you the back first. Very cool. Paris is the perfect woman, beautiful, creative, and passionate. But Paris is dead, the victim of a brutal murder. She lives on only in the artificial world Liam has created a virtual reality. But the simulation is more real than real. And Liam soon finds himself retreating from reality entirely when his flesh and blood love Laura realizes the nature of his addiction. She must stop him before he chooses to join Paris permanently in the artificial world. This is a really cool, amazing film here. The beginning of it starts off with like Paris and this Jeff Fahey character there. They start, to fall in love with each other, and have good terms for them, and then Paris gets murdered, and by these two bad guys that go after her, and all of a sudden, Jeff Fahey starts to fake to himself to see Paris again. The only way to see Paris again is go into the virtual world and meet Paris, and that's what he does. He goes into some kind of like robotic virtual experiment thing that he uses, and he sees stuff, and he sees Paris. He even talks to her as well, and lots of cool virtual effects in this film, that are really, really cool to watch. This is a very underrated erotic thriller, and if you haven't seen this movie, guys, I highly recommend checking it out. It's got a very good dialogue to it, and some of the premise to it's really good. I like when Paris and Jeff Fahey, when they meet each other in virtuality, they were like painting together, and I think Jeff Fahey, there's like an amazing scene where Jeff Fahey and Paris like have sex with each other in the art room, and then Jeff Fahey paints Paris, and with all the paint on her body and all stuff. It's so beautiful, and it's definitely one of these erotic thrillers that I would definitely want to watch again. Alright, the next one we got right here. Shout out to Bertarian, who had this on eBay. I think I paid like $25 for it. Best offer. New Crime City, Los Angeles 2020. This is a fun post-apocalyptic action film right here, as you can see. This film stars Rick Rossovich, Stacey Keach, Sharon Rose, Rick Dean, Dennis Forrest, a couple other B actresses or actors in there. Yeah, this movie, Rick Rossovich, in the beginning of the film, he's in prison, and he gets some kind of sentence where he did something bad, and they were gonna execute him, but then his boss or his assistant at the prison building tells him to go out in the world, and tells him to go out in the world and fight and protect the city, and fight against the bad guys that are causing the city, to be rotted or something like that, or you get executed or you die or something like that. So he goes out in this world. It's a very this post-apocalyptic world of Los Angeles, and he sees all the stuff going on, all of the action, and how what's happening in the city, and it's kind of like one of these where he goes in and the whole town is burned, and it's an all lockdown, all stuff. But he meets up with Sherry Rose, who is very beautiful, and go on a mission together, and fight against the bad guys who are trying to get after them, and all stuff. In what they are and where they are, and where they are. I won't give too much detail, but this is a very fun movie. Lots of good action, some good stunts, and This cover's really beautiful too, I'm not gonna lie. This cover's fucking sick. Also, as you can see, with the wires in the bottom in the city and with Rick Rossovic's face in the front, I think, this, while it's a great film and I really enjoyed it, I think this Laserdisc is worth having for this cover. I think this cover is really sick, and it's probably my third or fourth favorite Laserdisc cover I ever owned. So there you have it. I recommend the film too. New Crime City, Los Angeles 2020. If you all haven't seen it. Okay, the next movie we got right here, and Tyler's been telling me a lot about this film, and thank God I watched it. The First Power of Lou Diamond Phillips. This film was awesome. Again, the perfect killer is the one who cannot be stopped, be warned. This movie is basically about Lou Diamond Phillips, who's like a cop. Is like a detective. His name is Russell Logan, and he goes and tracks down Jeff Kober. As you can see right here, is the bad guy in the film, who's a serial killer. And then he's in like some kind of cave and does something wrong, and then Russell goes after Jeff Kober's character, and they fight with each other, and then Jeff Kober gets arrested, goes to prison, and then he gets executed, and then he comes back to life, and crazy stuff happens after that. With Russell going after Jeff Kober and with all the crazy stuff that's happening in this film, it's awesome. The special effects are amazing. The action is really good. Some of the horror in this is really good too, and I definitely highly recommend everybody checking The First Power out. If you haven't seen The First Power, what the fuck are you missing out on? It's awesome. Alright, the last film I'm reviewing for the movies I watched in February is a film I want to review. It's a film that I want to review, and to everybody, that I've watched. And this, I gotta say, I bought this from Nomad for pretty cheap. I think $4, but this movie is a lot of fun. Trapper County War. Two lovers, one chance, no mercy. It's a Republic Pictures home video release. And I love these Republic Pictures home video covers with the color in the background. And they got the picture and they're tilted. It's amazing. I'll show you the back. But yeah, this movie is basically about like these two guys, these two kids that are these two boys here that are coming from Hoboken. And they're traveling somewhere like somewhere in the backwoods in North Carolina, where they go out on an adventure. And then, they go out, they go to this diner there, and they meet this beautiful Betsy Russell character who was like a waitress there. And then, Don Swayze, who's the bad guy in this film, warns those guys what's going on. I think he's like a Ludiger, if I recall. But all of it breaks loose when when those two boys get into it with the Ludigers, and they one of the guys here, I think he's not named in this film, not this character who is still alive, but his friend in the film dies from the Ludigers, and Betsy Russell, whose character's name is Lacey, she's not happy with the parents and the Ludigers. So this guy here, I believe is Robert Estes, he like goes on an adventure, and in the backwoods, sees out what's going on. Then he meets this this Ernie Hudson character who is in the backwoods chilling, and he wants his help. Something bad's going on around the town, and with the Lou Diggers, and he wants him and Robert Estes to fight against the Lou Diggers. Bo Hopkins is the sheriff in the town, and the sheriff is not happy with what the Lou Diggers are doing, and they're getting revenge for them, and after they're trapping Lacey in the tree branch with some kind of piece of rope, and Robert Estes goes after Lacey and saves her after all hell breaks loose in the backwoods, and it's awesome. The location that this movie was shot is amazing. All the action that was in this film is amazing as well, and yeah, this is one film I highly recommend everybody checking out if you haven't seen Trapper County War. It is such a fun movie. Lots of good shit going on in this film, and I must say I'm very happy to own it. And it's not expensive as well. You can probably find it on the cheap as well if you guys want to get a copy. So yeah. Alright guys, now I'm on to the movies that I'll be reviewing in March. 6 movies. This will be 3 videos, put together in one video. So I'm going to edit it after I'm done with this. So, I hope it gets uploaded to YouTube today, as soon as possible, so you all can see it. But here are the movies I'll be reviewing that I watched in March. And we're starting off with the first one here, Hard Justice, with David Bradley, one of the goats of B-action movie trash. This Laserdisc is very rare, guys. I was very happy to pick up a copy of this one for $20. It was the last one on LDDB, and I swear there are no copies available online anywhere on eBay and LDDB. So, very lucky to get this copy. This is a fun, awesome fucking movie right here. David Bradley, who is an ATF agent, and his name is Nick Adams. Let me read the back. So, hard-boiled ATF agent Nick Adams, David Bradley goes head-to-head with a vicious gang, leaving a blazing inferno and a dozen gang members in ashes. Then he slips undercover to a prison hellhole to find his partner's killer. But when he discovers the warden, Charles Napier, is running an illegal gun ring out of the prison basement, Nick realizes that his own life is in danger. Attacked from all sides, he finds the only way to survive is to fight, and that justice only comes the hard way. This movie, Tightwad reviewed, and he thought that it gives everything that PM Entertainment does. I think I'm going to have to agree with what he says, because this feels like a PM Entertainment film. Even though it wasn't released from PM Entertainment, this feels like a PM Entertainment film. So, so that's all. So that's what's going on in the film. David Bradley goes and fights Yuji Okamoto, who is right there with David Bradley holding guns to each other. And by the way, this cover's awesome, if you all know, and it's in miraculous shape as well. So, but David Bradley goes save somebody and kills Yuji Okamoto, and then after all that he goes to prison, where he's there, and Yuji Okamoto came back from the hospital and he's in prison as well, and they're both fighting with each other in prison, and all hell breaks loose with them, and with all the stuff going on. There's a lot of good action in this film, a lot of good stunts. There's a really good scene where Yuji Okumoto is driving a bus, like a prison bus, and David Brantley goes after Yuji Okumoto in the bus and tries to fight him and shoot at him, and it's so awesome. If you do ever get a copy of this on Laserdisc, guys, good luck, because chances are you'll probably never find one out and about again, or even online again. So, but Hard Justice is an awesome film, and I totally highly recommend everybody seeing it, regardless. All right, next one we got here. And sorry, my face is very close. I should probably move these lasers kind of close to me so I can reach it a little bit better. Okay. Alright, this next one right here is a pretty pricey one. I was very glad to get it for a good deal on this one. Angel Fist. With Kat Sassoon, Melissa Moore, Michael Shanner, Denise Buick, and Jessica Roberts. These chicks in the front cover right here are smoking beautifully hot. And I gotta give them credit for them being in this film, because this film is badass. Oh my god, this film is like literally badass and kick-ass together. Kat Sassoon's friend, who is trying to be in a fighting championship, is in Thailand and goes, goes for a match, and she won the match, and then once she gets back to the hotel room, the bad guys go in there and murder her, and then she dies. And Kat Sassoon, which I believe she's an FBI agent, she goes to Thailand and gets after the bad guys that kill her friend, and she goes into the championship and fights all the lovely hot ladies that are in this film, and gets her revenge for them, from the bad guys, that killed her sister. So really good shit right here. A lot of good fighting in this film as well. I was really impressed to see. And if you haven't seen Angel Fist, I highly recommend checking it out. It's very trashy, but it's very fun while it lasts, and I think you'll all really enjoy it a lot. So, yeah. All right, next film we got right here is another David Brantley film reviewing I watched in March. Blood Warriors. This also stars Frank Zagarino, who's an awesome B-action movie star, Jennifer Campbell, Franz Tubunin, Dickie Zulkarnain, and Piet Burnama. This film is basically about, let me read the tagline: Swift, silent, deadly. I'll show you the back. This film is basically about David Brantley, who is with Jennifer Campbell, and he's come back from a mission and all, and she and him go together to some kind of building, like some kind of ancient kingdom building where they both have love together, and then the bad guys come after the guys in the kingdom, and they trap Jennifer Campbell, and then David Brantley has to save her from them. But then Frank Zagarino and his team goes after the bad guys who trapped Jennifer Campbell, and they save her as well. along with David Bradley. And at first, Frank Zagarino and David Bradley. Well, I believe David Bradley's name is Wes Haley and Frank Zagarino's name is Keith Stone. So Keith and West, they both get along well, But then all of a sudden, when something like Keith saying to West, we got your daughter, we will take good care of her, West gets worried of Keith, and it's been a couple months since I've seen this film, but they fight with each other and get after them. It's an awesome. It's a fun movie. As far as David Bradley films, top 5 David Bradley films, this probably has to be number 5. But it was a lot of fun, and Frank Zagarino played amazing in this film. So yeah, I would recommend it. Blood Warriors. I enjoyed it. All right, next one we are here. I finally watched this. Not gonna talk a whole lot about it because everybody knows this film, but this is a classic. Juice with Tupac, Jermaine Hopkins, Omar Epps, and Khalil Kain. This film is amazing. It's about friendship and what's going on with them and with them being together and trying to get the power and respect each other. It's an amazing film. The music in this is really good, and everybody knows it. Can't give too much detail about it, but if you haven't seen Juice, though, you don't know what you're missing. It's an awesome film, and it's even totally worth having in your Laserdisc collection if you haven't seen it. Okay, this next Hood film right here I'm about to review. Now, I will talk a lot about this, because this one seems kind of obscure, kind of rare, and kind of hard to find. But shout out Ty White for me selling this to me. Rude. Action speaks louder than words. Now, I know Ty White wasn't that impressed with this film, but I actually really, really enjoyed it a lot. Now, this is one of these Hood films that, it's not like Juice, where it's like all the pimpin' music and, where all crazy stuff goes on. This is one of these Hood films that's very independent and very artsy, which I like sometimes. Which I like, honestly. Having to watch independent artsy films, I've seen independent. There's one independent film I've seen, kind of months back called Tokyo Decadence. That was a pretty cool one, but this one here is very artsy, and I'll show you the back of it. I think this is a Canadian film as well. So, but I'll read the back. The inner city struggle for respect bears out in the lives of everyone who deals with life in the urban streets. Jessica, a rookie cop, is all that stands between her ex-con husband and the violence of the underworld. Maxie, a beautiful artist, faces powerful questions of sexuality, and Jordan, a tortured young boxer, fights for his identity in the streets. Their moving stories and powerful action are rivetingly linked by the sultry voice of sexy radio, DJ Rude. But this film. This is one scene here where, like, one of these guys here, they met with this dealer there who plays like some kind of poker game, some kind of game to win money and all that stuff. And the dealer is the bad guy in this film that goes after this character right here, who who, you know, traps his son, and he wants to have his son back, and all stuff, and all war goes on with that. It's very well done, and you know, I don't think too many people are gonna talk about this film, but I really enjoyed it. I really had a good time with this film, man. And will I watch it again? I think so, because it's so artsy and so independent that I love it. So yeah, that's rude. All right, the last film I'm gonna review here is a movie that I actually really enjoyed a lot, and it's an extremely rare disc as well. You're not gonna find this anywhere online and in the wild. Edge of Honor with Corey Feldman and Meredith Salinger. This film, and this also stars, I believe, Scott Reeves, Ken Jenkins, Christopher Neame, and Don Swayze, which I reviewed Trapper County War in this video, and Don Swayze is the bad guy in this film. He's the bad guy in this. He's the bad guy in that film, but he's the bad guy in this film too. So, but this film is basically about Corey Feldman and his scavengers who are like on a camping trip in the woods. You know, trying to go on an adventure. Then they seek out this mass weapon in this cabin that they go to. You know, they research it, and then they suddenly, I think they take it with them, or they leave it there. I don't know, but they go into the camping grounds, and then these rednecks there. They go after Corey Feldman and his pals that were on this camping adventure, out for war and all. Meredith Salinger, who is pretty beautiful in this film, she's inside. She doesn't appear in side one, but she appears in side two with Corey Feldman. I mean, she does appear a little bit in side one, with her being with her parents and all, but she appears with Corey Feldman and his fellows and his campers in side two. And then she joins forces with Corey Feldman and these guys that were in Corey Feldman's team, and they go after the rednecks, and crazy stuff happens. When all of it goes into war, and I think the one time at the near end of the film, one of the rednecks, one of Corey Feldman's friends in this film, who was with him, he tears some kind of pine wood branch, tie of rope, and then goes and swings it into the car where the rednecks are at, and they fight each other back. It's an awesome film. Lots of fun action in this film, and the characters are very likable in this film between Corey Feldman and Meredith Salinger, and yeah, man, this one was really fun for me to check out, and I highly recommend everybody seeing Edge of Honor if you haven't already. I hope you all can find a copy of it on Laserdisc one day soon, because it's very rare, and you might need to watch on YouTube and all stuff. But yeah, if you get this movie in the wild, guys, or even find it online, which could be very pricey on Laserdisc, good luck. But anyways, that's it for my video of the top 6 movies I reviewed in February, and the top 6 movies I reviewed from February, and the top 6 movies that I reviewed from March. Thank you, everybody, for coming in here and watch me do these reviews, and hope you all have a great day, and stay tuned for my next one, guys. Take care.